All right, welcome back, everybody. Have you signed up yet for the Rod Squad newsletter? It's free. It drops every Sunday afternoon at rodpeterson.com. Brought to you by Suds Regina. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Happy Friday, Coach. I'm going to jump right into it because we got a lot to get to. The viewers want to know your take on the college football playoff staying at 12 teams. Did you think they'd come to that conclusion today?
Well, I knew there would probably be a big argument about 16 seems to be right to me, but the Big Ten, who is now the power conference, they've won it 3 straight years. They wanted 24 teams and automatic and so staying with 12 is good. I mean, college football, that it's as good as it gets, except for those, James Madison against Oregon and some of the mismatches that happen due to the mandatory things. And I think they'll continue to look at that in terms of the teams that get in. I thought this year was again the one team only that got a bye winning, making it now, a one in over 2 years, 1-7. It is a little bit disturbing that's an issue, and maybe it's in the calendar. They just need to tighten the calendar up a little bit. But in terms of the timing of the games and the how fantastic the games were, you can't ask for better. I mean, it's people who say, well, players are moving all over the. By the time the season ends, it doesn't matter. You never even think of Fernando Mendoza was at Cal the year before, and you don't think about where any of these players were 2 years ago. It's like this is their team right now. It's going to go down as the greatest team in college football history, and they're 16-0. How can you argue it? And the only time when there's been a college football playoff, instituted, anything but they're the greatest college football team in history, to me is debatable. I mean, people can have their arguments, but I don't even care if a team was undefeated. Going through that college football playoff is a bit of it's tough. It's tougher. You're playing down the stretch those great teams to get to the final and championship, and then winning that is what it is. So I thought it was fantastic this year. I'd like to see him go to 16 and maybe eliminate some of the big mismatches, but I like the where it was, and I don't see two conferences as big as the Big Ten and the SEC ever agreeing. The Big Ten says, "Oh yeah, we'll agree to what they want to do as long as in 2 years you put in what we want to do." So you have these power hitters that are they're bullies. As I was reading it, I thought, wow, these are like NCAA bullies. So it's interesting, but in terms of where the college game is, I think they're going to run out of money. I think they're going to run out of donors. I mean, the point's going to come. Players are making so much money now, and it'll affect our league a little bit. It's tough for a kid who is an average quarterback in college making $2 million a year to say I'm going to come up to the Canadian Football League and hope I can get a $500,000 a year. That becomes more difficult, and people don't understand how recruiting in the CFL is. I'd forgotten about how it can be tough, and we recruit against the UFL, and that's a big one right now. And the UFL is having problems because the NFL. I talked to a couple people. I was at the American Bowl this week, a couple of NFL scouts from different teams, and they said the problem with the UFL guys is their stats are showing that when they come to camp for the NFL, basically the NFL uses them as bodies, as people to run routes and people to take reps away from their starters, and so I call them fillers. They're finding that guys that come out of the UFL, having just played 10 games or whatever it is they play, are getting hurt a lot more in training camp, causing NFL teams to have to pay injury settlements. So I think you might see the UFL signings go down a bit this year. our signings, CFL signings, were up a lot, and I think we were 12 to 15 guys. I know Verisuk got 175,000 from the Colts to sign. So there's good things happening about coming from our league. The other thing the NFL guys were talking about is the most valuable time they have for new players coming into their organization is the off season, and that's kind of a thing you miss when you're in the UFL. You miss the rookie camps, even you miss all of that, and you come and, like I say, become a filler. So I think the UFL is going to be in trouble as those numbers start to go down. They signed a bunch, but there's only currently four: Aubrey and Turpin from the Cowboys special teams guys, and then one linebacker and one D lineman that are still with teams that are out of the UFL. So they'll talk about having 80 guys signed, but there's four still left after 3 or 4 years. So that's been an interesting thing for me in my new role is seeing the recruiting that goes on just to get guys to want to come up to the CFL.
Jim Barker with us from the Toronto Argonauts, and there's a lot to go through. I do want to credit Jersey Jim Behringer, who's watching on Game Plus TV in New Jersey, Dumont, New Jersey. He wanted your take on the college football playoff, and there's a lot of questions have come in. But I got to ask you about this coaching carousel. It's ridiculous. The viewers are confused. They're like, Mike McDaniel, didn't he just get hired by the Chargers? Yes, he did. And then he's interviewing with the Bills today. Jim, this is wrong. What the hell's going on?
See, it's not wrong. I mean, they get head coaching jobs because they're great coaches. Okay, for whatever reason, Mike McDaniel got hired as the Miami Dolphins coach. Some guys, I was better as a coordinator than I ever was as a head coach. So when I got fired as a head coach, I had opportunities to go as a coordinator. But the money attracts you to the head coaching thing, and we all, our egos get in the way, and we want to go where we can make the most money. And, the bottom line is you're talking about 10 coaches and their staffs are all good coaches. To think they're not going to get other jobs, there's nothing absurd about that. In terms of who these teams are hiring, personally, if I fired a guy, I would know who I want to hire. For example, take the Giants. If they had fired Daboll and said, listen, we are going to sit tight, John Harbaugh is having a tough time, and that's who we want. And then as soon as he came free, they went out and they signed him. And it was never really him not going anywhere. The other teams, it's a little different. I honestly don't believe the Buffalo Bills fired Sean McDermott until the Josh Allen press conference. That's what Terry Pegula said, was that press conference initiated him to make a move at head coach. He said he felt Josh's pain. Well, I don't know if he felt Sean's pain when Josh overthrew the guy on the 5-yard line that would have cemented the game when he overthrew the tight end, or he threw it behind a guy. I mean, he had a couple big plays in the fourth quarter he didn't execute. So again, when these things happen and how and why, it changes based on which organization. Jim Harbaugh, he must have seen something. Maybe he's worked with Mike McDaniel before and saw, okay, there's a guy who's available who I'd like to have as my offensive coordinator, and, for whatever reason. But then he's not going to sign until he's sure all the jobs that he's going for. So, yeah, there's rumor comes out that this guy's going there, but yeah, that's the way it goes this time of year. I don't think there's anything absurd about it. You got a bunch of really good people looking for jobs to feed their families. That's what you got.
Well, I think we mock what we don't understand as a society, and that's just me. I spent 20 years in 2 places. I couldn't imagine living like this, but I'm not a coach. I couldn't do it. Yet the coaches now are just so used to it, right? So
yeah, it's part, when you get into it, you understand. I mean, the first Division I job I took, I was there 6 months, got fired. I came up here to Canada in 1996 and was told, make sure you have a little backing because the league's a little volatile. And sure enough, I was in Montreal in '96. At the end of the season, we made it to the Eastern Final, lost to Toronto, and Mr. Gelfond, or the owner from Baltimore, didn't want to own the Alouettes anymore. So I was out of a job, and so I got the next job. Don Matthews called me to go to Toronto, and that's just become such a way of life. And is it great? No, but it's a part of what you sign up for, to never have to work a day of your life, like you talked about. But you do go through stress to get to that point.
No kidding. There's a lot of questions here. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Sunday's conference championship games. They're going to be great. What's your thumbnail thoughts on both?
Yeah, on the Denver New England game, I think Jarrett Stidham's going to be a lot better than people think he will be, and I think Sean Payton will have a plan that will allow him to have success. That defense is so stellar. I'm gonna take the home team and pick Denver. It's in Denver, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's in Denver, and I'm gonna take Denver to win based on that, the home field, and that Stidham will survive. Again, this is Drake May's first time in a championship. Obviously, he's a rookie. How is he going to respond? And so you got two basic rookies, Stidham, who hasn't played in this kind of a setting. But we remember what Nick Arbuckle did for the Argos when Chad Kelly got hurt and stepped in, went in, and won the game. And some guys have that ability. Everything Stidham has done, everything he has said publicly, just reeks of a guy who gets it, who understands his role, and now knows this is what he's paid to do right now. Not be a back. It's right now. Go win a Super Bowl. The team is behind you. Everybody's behind you. Be good enough to do that. And that's why we look at our quarterback room with Chad Kelly and Nick Arbuckle. We have two guys that have won Grey Cup games, and there's huge value in that. Anybody else who comes in, it's tough to say that they're backup if that guy ends up playing. So, in the other game, again, all week I thought the Rams, and I'm watching some film actually of a player from that was in Seattle in spring train in their camp, in their preseason, and the things they do on defense and the way they play on defense. That crowd in Seattle will be a factor. I don't know. I think I'm going to take the Rams just because I'm going to take Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold still hasn't done it. He had a chance last year and didn't do it. Stafford, I think, it's his time, and so I'm gonna pick the Rams and Denver to meet in the Super Bowl.
You're giving me lots to think about. I thought it was Seahawks. Yeah.
You know how much time I've spent studying this? Maybe 10 minutes.
None. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you have a job in football in another league. Listen, I'm going to look at, not that it matters, and I know you don't get into the point spreads at all, but the Patriots are favored by 4.5 at Denver. So the pundits think the Patriots are favored. That's because of the Stidham thing, I'm sure. But you make a great point about Drake May. He hadn't been this far before either. And mind you, he has quarterbacked all year. And the Rams at the Seahawks, Seattle's favored by 2.5. So that's got to be the home field thing.
Underdogs.
Yes, you do.
I got one home underdogs. There's nothing better. You talk to true Las Vegas people. They love home underdogs.
Well, the viewers are all shocked that you're picking the LA Rams. That's because you're from LA. Wait a minute. You picked the Dodgers. You picked the Rams. Are you just a homer?
You know what? Maybe a little bit, but I actually, when I come to these games, I pick it based on the quarterback. And I'm picking Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold. That's the honest truth. It's not LA because I'm from LA. It's Matt Stafford versus Sam Darnold.
I'm teasing you, but Your brother is in where? Puget Sound, Washington.
Yeah,
Where's
he's in
Johnny?
Gig Harbor with Davis Alexander.
Okay, he's watching. He writes in. He says, your brother is taking the Seahawks and the Patriots. So you might want to put a lunch down on that or something.
There you go. There you go. And trust me, he has spent 50 to 100 more times
Hours?
on this than I have. That's what he does. He's got TVs everywhere. That's what he does. He doesn't, he doesn't have to do like me and actually work it. He just figures out win games. I would take his picks over mine.
Well, number one, he says, yeah, Jim's a homer. So he's like, don't listen to him. I don't know why he has his television on our show, but I'm so grateful. I got to tell you this. I just learned from 2 NHL people in the last couple of weeks that they watch us in San Jose and LA. I didn't even know that we were on out there. So hello to everybody out in California. That's a new state. Yeah, that's a new state for us. There were some CFL. Oh, Kirk in Toronto watches every day, and he says, can you please ask Mr. Barker how the BMO renovations are progressing? Thanks.
They are progressing. That's where our offices are. We're there until the 1st of April. They're adding suites. They're adding seats. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful site. We will be displaced for 2.5 months. Which the league and the team are working out how that's going to happen, but we'll be out in Guelph, and so it'll be a new thing for everybody. But as you found out when you talked to Mike Miller, doesn't bother him a bit. It's Guelph, it's Toronto. What's the difference?
I'll tell you what. After that, I didn't tell you. I was ready to run through a wall. After talking to Mike Miller, he's got it, man. You guys are going to be good.
He's kind of like Kurt Signetti. He's got that same kind of dry personality that you got to kind of know him to. But he makes me laugh every day. But he's going to be really good. I know players are calling like crazy about coming to play for him. So yeah, he's a special dude.
Well, it's funny. The viewers compared him to Gruden in the way he talks. But like you say, he might not be doing color on Monday Night Football anytime soon or being the spokesperson for Hooters like John Gruden. But
hey, how about Gruden to Buffalo?
He's never going to the NFL, Jim. He's not. I don't think he is.
You just think he's being blackballed.
You don't? You don't?
Probably, but somebody's going to step out and say, you know what? It's more important than that. This is about RA. I mean, you talk about Mike McDaniel in Buffalo. You talk about a mismatch. I mean, but you put Gruden in there with those Buffalo fans, that's a match made in heaven.
He's a fit anywhere. Yeah, I think absolutely. But the problem, of course, is the commissioner. But anyways, we're out of time. Coach, this has been a ton of fun. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in a week.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Rod.
Yeah, you got it, Coach. No problem, John. We'll be back. Rand Teed, recovery professional, joining us. I'm joking. It's Jim Barker. We all know that. We'll be right back with recovery legend Rand Teed in a moment with a very special moment. My counselor, my mentor. It's going to be great. You're watching on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.